This is why motherfuckers like you go through divorces.
Eat the f***ing cookie!
There's toxic men and there's masculine men, but there are zero toxic masculinity men.
Tremendous attention to detail and a driven to dominate life. I am the modern day knight.
Party people, I'm about to talk about something that no other YouTube commentary channel has ever talked about. Alpha males. Yep, it's a topic full of interesting characters, and I just can't believe I'm gonna be a pioneer in talking about this type of content. But actually, alpha male content has been talked to death on YouTube, but I think I've found something that's not your typical alpha male content. I have found an alpha bro workout cult. Yeah, you heard that right, an alpha bro workout cult. This group is named Modern Day Knights, which is pretty ironic because they are definitely stuck in the dark ages.
All we're going to do as instructors over the next 75 hours is administer the project. No different than a doctor would administer chemotherapy to a cancerous body part.
Oh, your fitness program is like going through chemotherapy. Yeah. Sign me up. So the clip we just watched there is what it takes to become part of the club of Modern Day Knights. And it's a 75-hour workout or initiation that they call the project. You know how you rush a fraternity and you have to be a pledge for a couple months before you can join that fraternity? It's just like that, except this is a very intense 75 hours of hazing. Don't believe me? Well, let's watch some of their TikToks. But before we do, I want to give a little warning to anyone that gets uneasy when they see or hear verbal abuse. I'll put a little time code right here, because this group gets intense, as you'll see.
Get in line! It's your last warning! The f is wrong with you?
Oh, he's screaming at everyone. Cool. Are you trying to train these people to become Starbucks baristas? And then this guy goes full-blown Karen.
This is why motherfuckers like you go through divorces and your wives leave you. You can't get your shit straight.
Your wife's gonna leave you because you can't shit straight. Honestly, how are you missing it by that much?
You can't get your shit straight.
The biggest thing with Modern Day Knights is their verbal abuse. By a mile. The thing is though, their verbal abuse just gets cartoony at times. For example, this is how one of the instructors tries to scare some of the guys that are underperforming.
They're gonna crawl and suffer until you're done with that cookie. Till the both of you are done sharing that cookie. Go. Eat the cookie. Eat the cookie. All right, so you can suffer until you finish the cookie. Yeah, just sit there. Just sit there. Eat the cookie!
Eat the cookie! I just don't really want to. It has oatmeal raisin in it. Ugh.
Eat the cookie!
This would be intense if it weren't so stupid. Here's another time where this instructor just, I guess, hates tables and chairs. It's literally that meme of the guy throwing the chairs and desk around. Jesus, man, calm down. Also, the heartbeat sound effect in the background.
Fucking pussies!
Really? You're gonna be that extra about this?
You think you're fucking really badass, don't you? You wanna know one more challenge? Let's go. Take your shit off. Take your shit off. Take your fucking shit off. Take your shit off. Take your shit off! Come on!
Oh shit, are they about to fuck? Damn, in front of everyone else too? I'll admit, it's a pretty big alpha move right there. I will say the homoeroticism in this group is off the charts. These guys wrestle together, they'll carry each other from the beaches, and when they're dirty, they'll shower each other off. Man, I feel like I'm watching the original Top Gun here. Which of course, there's nothing wrong with being with another man. I do get the feeling though that these people wouldn't exactly like the whole homoeroticism part pointed out to them, if you are catching my drift. And when you see these initiation exercises, it only gets worse. Let's start off with how these new followers need to dig their own graves and then get into a body bag where the instructor then will simulate them getting buried alive while also dehumanizing them as this is all happening.
You understand that? Yes, sir. This is a very special moment because 99.99999% of the people that go into that body bag never can unzip and won't have the redo.
What? You see, this is how betas become alphas. It's like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Except now they don't wear helmets when they go on bike rides, because helmets, that's some beta ass shit. They also make you submerge yourself in cold water.
You got this! You got it! Just have the fun!
Go.
We got you.
Motherfucker. 5 fucking seconds. All you need to do. Get that bitch out of you. Go.
I love how in this clip, everyone in the background is just screaming in pain.
You got this.
Like, oh yeah, where do I sign up again? I mean, if you wanted to be effective with your background music, you should have put on Be a Man from Mulan in there. And I guess another part of this whole initiation process is trying to give everyone hypothermia.
Look at his shirt. Are we lying? It's just water, Kowalski. Stop being a little girl. You were just in the fucking ocean. This is fresh water. You grew up doing this as a kid.
Man, I hope you weren't doing this as a kid. And then I don't know what the context is for this photo, but if you're curious on what I just blurred out there, it's a knife. So this instructor has one of the guys on his knees, neck out, and the instructor has a knife in his hand. Like, I know this is out of context, but like, what context would justify this photo? Also, camo on camo? Like, how long did it take you to decide this outfit? I get that you work at Modern Day Nights and you don't want anyone to see you, but if you want that to work, you gotta wear the face paint too. And then don't worry, I know the guy that's on his knees is alive. So all of this is pretty concerning, I would say, at the very least. But one of the strangest things that Modern Day Nights makes all these guys do is instead of saying yes, they say kill.
Kill. Start crawling. Kill. 6.
Yeah, that's not normal. It's like they're trying to rewire your brains to go back to caveman times. Like, you see something, you're like, kill? Kill? Kill. Like, I'm sorry, but it's pretty sad when Fred Flintstone has a better vocabulary than you. And to really get that authentic cult feeling, Modern Day Nights also has a creed that they make everyone say.
I protect those who can't protect themselves. I leave others better than I found them. I have high standards of expectations, tremendous attention to detail, and am driven to dominate life. I am the Modern Day Knight!
I mean, like, do I need to say anything else? Like, oh, watch out there, Scientology. Looks like there might be a new, more insane organization out there.
I am the Modern Day Knight!
So if you couldn't tell, this pledge process is a bit extreme. The instructors go out of their way to dehumanize you,
Then why the fuck are you standing in my face, you stupid fuck?
humiliate you,
Are you fucking kidding me? Start over, fucking dipshit.
and just make you feel like a shitty guy in general. But I'm sure you're also wondering, why would someone sign up for this? Well, when you graduate from the project and join this totally not a cult, you get certain perks, such as you're a part of a lifelong brotherhood of other successful-minded men. You'll be added to our private online community where each week we network, connect, share our successes and setbacks, and support each other through accountability. And then twice a year, you'll be invited to our brotherhood meetups. So you basically get added to a Facebook group and meet up twice a year. Do you guys at least get to fight a dragon when you meet up? Well, with these, I'll say, lackluster perks, you might be wondering who would sign up for this. Now, usually I would say alpha male content is trying to appeal to males that are in high school to maybe mid-20s, but Modern Day Nights does something a little different. They try and market themselves to divorced dads, or like teetering on divorced dads, which is something that is hit on a lot in these guys' testimonials about this program.
I cleaned house when it came to personal relationships and things that weren't serving me, and especially that weren't serving my wife and my family.
My relationship with my wife definitely improved, just being more deliberate about things. I was showing up as a husband better.
We were so focused on our kids, raising our kids, that we forgot how to fucking take time for ourselves and do the things that we need to do to keep our relationship functional. So those are the things that I took back home and implemented with her, and it's changed our relationship.
I don't know, maybe just go to couples therapy. Like, I just feel like you don't need to do all this. And there are even some testimonials of the wives of these men.
I believe so much in the project that I would never say no if he asked me to go and give back to you guys or to connect with you guys. I would never say no. At this point, it's given way too much to my family.
Our family, even just in 1 year, has benefited mentally, socially, physically, spiritually.
Also changes, obviously, our communication, our relationship, and the way we grow with our family. Ladies, I know it looks a little crazy.
A little crazy. Yeah, that's an understatement. I also find it very funny that this guy is wearing a lion, not a sheep shirt, as he literally follows behind a bunch of people. And something that is brought up a lot too is how this program taught these men to double, if not triple, their salary.
Our finances have actually tripled. We were talking about that today, tripled since he was in there.
4 months later, I quit my job. I went back into business for myself, tripled my yearly income by just that one thing of.
I made more money than I ever have. 2020 was the best year financially.
Financially, we're great, but we can do even better, right? We're now kind of retooled things. We're going to be debt-free in a few months.
They never explain how this program would do that, and I don't see how any of these tasks would raise their salary. I also find it pretty funny that they don't list this as a perk for joining the group. Like, you would think that would be a pretty big selling point, right? And something you might not have thought about either is that all these people pay to do this. What do you think is a fair price for all this? Like, I want you to come up with a number in your head. Okay, for 75 hours to do all these fun activities, you need to pay 15 grand. Yeah, 15 grand. Like, with that type of money, you could just buy every NFT ever. Also, supposedly all these guys are on the verge of divorce. Could you imagine going to your wife and asking for 15 grand to do this? Yeah, those divorce papers are getting signed that night. And that's a night with a K. If a guy told me he joined this group, does he think I think that's cool? Because I don't. Like, oh, sick, dude, you paid 15 grand for people to scream and torture you, and you think that's gonna repair your marriage. Like, totally. But I'm sorry to report that things only get worse, because just like any big IP from the 90s, there's a kids version. Yes, Modern Day Knights has the Squire program, where these divorced dads can bring their sons.
Let's go. Communication, guys.
So, gentlemen, if there's one message I'm going to stress to you over and over again is always choose hard.
Yeah, I've never seen a video that just screams generational trauma. I understand working out with your kids, but you want to do this with your kids? You know, there are some things you just don't need to do with your kids. Like, are these dads like, man, I really wish my son and I could experience kidney stones together. I could imagine the only reason why mothers would let their sons do all this is so they could use it as an example for why they should get sole custody.
You guys better take advantage of this opportunity that you have here with your boy, because you never know when this shit's gonna happen.
When what's gonna happen? When I need to crawl in mud with my dad? Like, yeah, I'm sure I really need to prep for that one. I will say the obstacles that these kids go through aren't exactly the same as the main Modern Day Knights project. Like, from what I can tell, they don't bury the kids alive. Yet. No, they have other challenges like blindfolding your kid and guiding them to the finish line, but Modern Day Knights wants to make it a bit more extreme and dangerous for your child, so they put obstacles down like boards with nails in it.
Right there. Forward. Put it forward. Put it down. Put it down. Now step forward. Step forward and match that foot. Don't listen. You listen to me, Darian. Step forward and put it down. Oh my God. You're gonna hurt this kid. You're good. This kid.
All right, so fuck that guy. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that this kid takes a step back and gets a nail in his foot. Better hope that kid has his tetanus shot.
We're in a defining moment right now. We are at war. Make no mistake about it. We are at war with the opposition. And the opposition wants to keep you, young men, weak, docile, confused about your masculinity, uncertain, broke, and dependent.
Who is the opposition here? Like, who are we fighting? Capitalism? And if you want to see how these kids are indoctrinated into this toxic culture, oh man, just watch this video of one of the kids taking an ice bath.
Who are you? My name is Aiden. I'm a man. I'm a warrior. I'm Aiden. I'm a man. I'm a warrior. We live here. This is where we live. This is where we live.
Oh, you live here in the ice bath? Like, damn, I know inflation is bad, but Jesus. It does actually make me really sad seeing these impressionable kids get brought into this type of thinking. Like, sitting in an ice bath, how does that make you a man? You realize that women take ice baths all the time, right? But let's hear some of the testimonials for Colt Jr. here.
This Squire program was one of the best things I've done. It's changed my life.
Yeah, this changed his life forever because now people call him Fred.
You know, I didn't really know a whole lot. When I spoke to Ray before I got here, he was He was really good about not telling me anything, and I didn't do any research other than what I saw on the website because I didn't want to know. I didn't want to have an opinion, and that's kind of how I came into it with my son.
Oh, so you're just dumb. Yeah, so I called this guy and he didn't answer any of my questions, so I thought, you know, why not? This guy seems trustworthy enough, so I signed up and did no follow-up research because I'm a sheep, and I just wanted people to tell me what I thought about all this, you know? Oh, come on, why would I lose custody over this? So the Squire program only lasts 15 hours rather than the full 75 hours and will cost you $1,900, which isn't as bad as $15,000, but I feel like my Overton window has shifted a lot just for, what you're paying for, if that makes any sense. But I feel like $1,900, just take your kid out to a fun weekend. You don't have to do this. So even though all these dads look like they're ready to be scammed by Logan Paul's next crypto project, I do feel sort of bad for them. It seems like they just don't know how to connect to their sons and they feel like they have to do this stuff to relate to one another. I just feel like it's objectively sad to see these dads trying to connect to their sons like this. These dads are like trying to give off the image of them being super strong in front of their sons, and I feel like these fathers are just forgetting that their kids just like want to hang out with them, because just hanging out with your dad is pretty cool. So to all the dads out there, don't take your son out to a place where they might step on nails. I think they're cool with ice cream. So you might be wondering, well, who's running all of this? Or in other words, who's the cult leader? That would be Bedros Keuilian. He's the founder of Modern Day Knights and also the most likely guy to try and sell you sketchy dick pills. And this guy has some pretty interesting takes.
And I don't give a if people ask, why aren't you drinking? Not even socially? That's a little extreme. You know what's extreme? Your poverty. Your poverty is extreme.
Jesus, dude, I get that you're feeling like you're being shamed into drinking, but like you took it to a whole new level. How about you take an edible, man, and chill out a bit? Or is that like too extreme for you? And just like any other alpha bro, he has a podcast. And of course he talks about what's wrong with women.
If you want it to be equal, then if you're a guy, go have a baby. If it's supposed to be equal, then a woman should be able to carry a 200-pound man out of a burning building too. I'm 230 pounds of beauty and awesomeness, bro. How the fuck are you going to carry me out if you're a woman?
I mean, that's not really what women are asking for with equal rights. I think they want like equal pay and not really expecting men to give birth because most men can't. Bedros also doesn't believe that toxic masculinity exists because of course he doesn't.
There's toxic men and there's masculine men, but there are zero toxic masculinity men. But the media, who thrives on declawing and defanging men, because the reality is, and I know, again, this is going to be politically incorrect, but it's men who are going to stand in the gap when the battle begins. God forbid the battle begins, it's going to be men who will stand in the gap.
All right, dude, what are we fighting here? Like, are you assuming there's going to be an apocalypse soon and the only thing that can save us is toxic masculinity? Does he think toxic masculinity gives you like superpowers like toxic waste? But something that Bedros hates more than the war on masculinity is heavier people.
Now in your sloppy elastic waistband basketball shorts that are 4 sizes too large. Stop taking pride in your pasty, gelatinous body that's shaped like a fucking pear.
Fucking A, guy, in the off chance any of you fucking actually graduate, fix your pumpkin and your pear shapes, would you?
Yeah, this guy definitely gets mad when he sees plus size models. That or a pair made fun of him when he was a kid. He hates heavier people so much. Just watch this rant that goes all over the place.
With your disheveled hair and your stained tank top, you pull up your iPhone and you pull up the app and you order what you want and you say, hold the onions and extra sauce. And then every 2 seconds you look and you go, I can't believe they're still at the intersection of Peyton and Chino Hills Parkway. Shut the fuck up. If you're tracking your goddamn burrito on an iPhone that's like fucking geotrack, like fucking they tracked fucking Osama bin Laden and then whacked him, you're fucking tracking your burrito, you fat piece of shit that's got Cheeto dust in your belly button. That person, that person. That's what's happened. And that person who has such a great desire for pleasure and for the comfort and convenience, why have sex with your wife? Just lay there, pull up your tank top, pull up porn, and just jack off. Mm-hmm. And then have your food show up.
There's no desire to take the wife out.
Dude, what did I just watch? Okay, so you brought up killing Osama bin Laden, geo-tracking, and then it all was about taking your wife out to dinner instead of like postmating? I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, skinny people also postmate food and want to know where it is. I feel like I'm explaining this to a 5-year-old. And maybe this guy and his wife are just having a night in, like, you know, watching a movie, playing some video games, or, you know, fucking. I do think this comes from some self-hatred from when he was larger. He even posted a TikTok about it.
Now I got the information that I need, and now I have to break your neck.
He wrote a blog post back in 2011 responding to a competitor that accused him of a lot, but one of the things was that he was actually fat. So naturally, he posted this picture to prove to everyone that he was not fat. Yeah, sick, dude. Like, good for this guy for losing all the weight, but also don't look down on others who aren't working out. Like, I don't think it's necessary to be extremely fit to be successful. Like, if you look at the most successful people in America, none of them are going to be cast in the next MCU movie. Except Jeff Bezos. I will give that guy some credit. He's got some guns on him, but he's also retired. Bedros is also very high in his own supply, like it's G Fuel or something.
These who will watch television all weekend long rooting for their quote-unquote team. It's like, you don't own that baseball team, that basketball team, the football team, yet you know all their stats, but you won't get your fat ass up and make a social media video where you can add value and then give people a call to action to slide into your DMs to be able to serve them in some capacity where you will have a greater sense of fulfillment, because that is what consciousness wants from you.
Wow, thank you for contributing to society by making a TikTok. Yeah, you're really changing the world there, bud. Like, thank you for your service. You've done so much for your country. So he's pro content creation, so you'd assume that he also loves people consuming that content, right? No.
I'm telling you, folks, the vices are getting you. The vices are getting you. How do I know this? I'm just doing my morning walk. Went by a cafe that I walk by all the time. There was a server who was probably on her break.
Wait, there was a server on break? What does this country come to?
And was sitting outside behind the restaurant. Yeah, I like to walk behind restaurants. I'm that creepy. And she was sitting outside on her break, hitting her vape pen and screen sucking from her iPhone, like head completely cranked down and screen sucking from her iPhone, then hitting her vape pen again in a poof of clouds.
Yes, this man is unironically bitching about people being addicted to their screens as he makes a TikTok that he needs people to watch on their screens. Also, it's not like this woman was at work on her phone and not doing her job. She was taking a break. Like, what would you do if you were her? Just stare at the sky for 15 minutes? And the TikTok only gets weirder.
And I share this with you because I'm like, all right, let's say I'm a predator. Let's say I'm a really bad guy. I'm here to mug her. I'm here to kill her. I'm here to do a lot of violence to her.
Why was that your first thought? Like, yeah, this woman totally isn't ready for me to beat her up. If that was your answer for a round of Family Feud, you'd be getting scorned at by Steve Harvey. I don't even know what to say. That's just like a weird, fucked up thought.
She would have no idea that I was coming because I was stomping my feet. I'm stomping my feet trying to get her attention. She didn't give a fuck because she was too deep into the vices. And those vices keep you disconnected from the world. Those vices put you at risk. Those vices degrade the quality of your life.
Okay, so very weird video. I don't know why you posted that, but also put yourself in this woman's shoes. You're on break in an alleyway where no one else is, and this shirtless guy just comes stomping down. You would ignore this guy and just hope nothing else happens because this weirdo is walking down, stomping his feet. I guarantee you that this woman was very aware about how much you could have hurt her, so congrats, man, you did it. I also love on their website, Bedros compares modern day society to apes. The picture of the left depicts a chimpanzee and a bonobo ape on the right. Chimpanzees exist in an environment where resources are scarce. This forces a chimp to compete to secure the respect of other male chimps. Bonobos, on the other hand, exist in an environment where resources are plentiful. Bonobos are able to relax and they don't need to compete for status because why bother? For the bonobos, life is comfortable. Sex is readily available and most of their time is spent masturbating and playing around. The way of the chimp is based on strength, courage, honor, and brotherhood. The way of the bonobo is based on weakness, pleasure, full-time relaxation, and fun. Okay, so if I had to choose, I'm picking the bonobo life. Like, that sounds pretty lit. Oh, you want me to pick the chimp life? Why? If you want to live in a place where resources are scarce, go live in the Sahara Desert. So I'm sure you're thinking, how the hell is this guy a cult leader? I have been showing some of Bedros' more crazy, insane takes, but he does actually have some emphasis on some good advice that could help men trying to get their lives together.
You're going to be knocked down on your ass 100 times. Things are not going to go your way. You're going to have a plan, and your plan only looks perfect on paper. But I can tell you this, the moment you go to execute your plan, many things will go wrong. And when they do, are you going to be resilient, get knocked down and get back up? Or are you just going to play the victim, play dead, say, well, this wasn't meant to be, and fail? To me, there's no such thing as failure. There are temporary defeats, but there's no such thing as failure.
I mean, that's really not terrible advice. And Bedros can be charismatic when he wants to, which is actually one of the main ways to identify a cult. According to this article, there are 4 main ways to identify a cult. 1, have a charismatic leader. Bedros covers that. 2, transcendent belief system, meaning that this cult has all the answers to your questions on how to get to a better spot in life. Let's say, hypothetically, that your marriage isn't going well, or you're not happy with your salary, or maybe you're not connecting to your kids. Modern Day Knights claims they have all the answers to these questions. He claims that his way will get you to a better spot in life financially, with your family, and obviously with your fitness. He even claims this on his website, calling it the 4 F-bombs, which also includes faith? Yeah, I don't know how faith is involved with this, but okay. 3, systems of control. Slowly, the heat gets turned up and you go through the rituals or study sessions that get you more and more drawn in, which is literally the initiation process that all these men go through. 4, systems of influence. Then there are more subtle influences, which is peer pressure. And that goes with how all these men that participate in the project are very just confused on what masculinity is these days. And that goes with the whole aesthetic of Modern Day Knights. Like, if you finish this project, you are a man, and if you don't, you aren't. He preys on men's insecurities and anger toward the world and redirects it to an unspecific group they all need to fight. Like, I've never seen something that just breeds toxic masculinity like this. I will say there is like a lot of soul searching for men on what defines masculinity in today's culture, and I just sort of think that's all really dumb. Like, here's the thing, if you have to ask yourself, is the thing I am doing right now manly? You already lost. Your insecurities won. Just be yourself. Like, you don't have to prove to anyone that you're a man. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. But that's it for me today. And as always, if you like what you see and know what to do all those YouTube-y things. YouTube thinks you're gonna enjoy this video up here. Are they right? I don't know, but I'll catch you on the next one.